People often assume that being the eldest sibling means respect, wisdom, and a rightful place at the table. But what if I told you it doesn't always work that way? Today's story is about me. I'm Lauren Hayes, 35 years old. I'm the eldest of four, and I'll share a gentle truth. Being the oldest in my family isn't the honor you might assume. I've built a fulfilling life, a steady marketing job, a welcoming home with my favorite books, and dear friends who cherish me. But to my parents and siblings, I'm still the unmarried sister who hasn't quite followed their cherished path. It's surprisingly endearing in its own way how they see me. Every Christmas, we gather at Mom and Dad's grand Victorian mansion for a lavish dinner, beautiful plates glowing under chandeliers, wine glasses sparkling with holiday cheer, and a warm, inviting glow that feels like stepping into a timeless holiday story. I've always participated, smiling through the traditions, joining in the family laughter. But this year, a quiet realization bloomed. I couldn't stay in the background any longer. I needed them to truly notice me. There's my brother Ethan, 32, with his spirited children, adorable and lively, though a bit noisy as they dart around. And my younger sister Riley, 29, radiant with her charming fiancé, whose stories light up the room. Mom bustles about like a joyful host, aprons swaying as she tends to the feast, while Dad oversees the evening with a kind but steady presence, ensuring everything flows smoothly. Meanwhile, I often feel like the quiet presence they overlook, until they need my help, of course. But this time, I had a thoughtful surprise in store, one that would bring a touch of warmth to their evening. I arrived at the dinner, still wrapped in my coat, the familiar warmth of my parents' home, wrapping around me like a soft blanket, yet a quiet unease lingered in my heart. Mom greeted me with a smile, warm, but tinged with routine. "So glad you're here, Lauren," she said, offering a quick hug before bustling back to the kitchen. From the dining room, Dad's voice carried, cheerful yet firm. "Dinner's ready. Ethan, Riley, settle the kids." The house buzzed with laughter, the clink of dishes, and the chatter of familiar voices. But beneath it all, I sensed that subtle shift, a reminder of my place in this family. I followed the voices into the dining room, expecting my usual seat. But Mom turned to me with a casual suggestion that stopped me cold. "Lauren, why don't you sit at the kids' table? It's a lovely spot for you with the little ones." I paused, taken aback. Me, 35, at a tiny plastic table, with sticky cups and crayon marks, surrounded by Ethan's twins, tossing peas like playful missiles. I glanced at the adult table, its polished surface glowing under candlelight, wine glasses clinking, as Ethan and Riley shared stories with Dad at the head. Every chair was taken. There was no place for me. A gentle ache rose in my chest, but I pushed it down with a smile. "Sure, Mom, thank you," I said, my voice steady despite the quiet sting. She nodded, already distracted, unaware of the tender hurt settling in my heart. I took my seat at the kids' table, the chair low and wobbly, my knees brushing the edge. Max and Leo, Ethan's twins, giggled as one flicked a pea across the table, while Sophie, Tara's niece, banged her spoon rhythmically, creating a cheerful rhythm. I looked up, catching snippets of the adult conversation. Ethan beaming about his promotion, Riley glowing as she described her wedding plans. Their voices mingled into a familiar hum, and that quiet ache deepened. I'd always been there, babysitting their children, stepping in during family crises, doing everything expected of an eldest sister. Yet here I was, pushed aside, unnoticed, as if I didn't quite belong. And tonight, it wasn't just about the table, it was about everything. After a few quiet moments that's at the kids' table, dodging a playful shower of mashed potatoes, and sidestepping a wobbly sippy cup, I came to a gentle realization. I didn't need to remain there, enduring the playful chaos that only underscored my exclusion. There wouldn't be any dramatic outbursts or lengthy speeches about fairness, just a calm, thoughtful decision to step away. I reached for my coat, its soft fabric, a quiet comfort, as I prepared to slip into the snowy night. But then, my gaze fell on something unexpected, a spark of inspiration amidst the noise. There, on the polished sideboard, sat a small wind-up toy turkey, one of those charming little gifts Riley's fiancé had brought for the children. It was quaint, with oversized feet, and a whimsical waddle, clearly designed for a fleeting moment of innocent laughter among toddlers. Yet, in that moment, it struck me as the perfect vessel for a touch of warmth and whimsy. I wound it carefully, tight as it could go, its tiny gears humming with quiet potential, and gently set it loose on the adult table, its journey a silent promise of change. The little turkey embarked on its path with a quiet determination, its oversized feet tapping softly against the polished surface. It waddled toward the centerpiece, brushing against the delicate tablecloth with such gentle insistence that it nudged the fabric askew. The movement was subtle at first, a slight tug. Then, with a graceful inevitability, it sent Ethan's wine glass tipping ever so slightly, the crimson liquid spilling in a slow cascade, while napkins fluttered to the floor like autumn leaves. For a heartbeat, silence, a collective pause as the family's eyes followed the turkey's path. Then a ripple of surprise unfolded. Ethan reached for his glass with a bemused chuckle, his brow furrowing in playful confusion, while Riley let out a soft, nervous laugh, her hand covering her mouth in delight. The children, Max, Leo, and Sophie, clapped with pure, unbridled joy, their laughter echoing like a melody. And even Dad's lips curved into a knowing, warm smile, his eyes twinkling with amusement. Mom gasped lightly, one hand steadying the shifting tablecloth as if it were a cherished heirloom, her expression a mix of shock and quiet laughter. It was a moment of delightful chaos, the kind that warms the heart, unexpected but utterly charming, weaving a thread of joy through the evening's tension. I smiled warmly, adjusting my coat with a sense of quiet triumph as I took a step back toward the door. "Enjoy your dinner," I called with a gentle cheer, my voice carrying a touch of affection amidst the lightness, then slipped out into the crisp, snowy night. The crunch of snow under my boots felt like a soft embrace, a whisper of freedom, and for the first time in years, I felt a profound lightness in my spirit. Let them savor the turkey's gentle mischief. I was ready to step out of the shadows and be truly heard, not just seen. My heart lifted by the simple magic of that moment. I slipped into a cozy diner just down the road, the kind with soft lighting, a gentle hum of conversation, and the comforting aroma of fresh coffee filling the air. It was the perfect haven on Christmas Eve, where no one questioned why I sat alone by the window, cradling a warm cocoa in my hands. The quiet settled over me like a soft blanket, and for the first time that evening, I wasn't trying to fit into anyone's picture. I was simply being. Then my phone began to buzz, pulling me back to reality. First, Ethan texted, "Lauren, what's this about?" Then Riley, "Mom's worried. Please come back." Dad, ever steady, wrote, "This isn't necessary. Let's talk." And finally, Mom, with her familiar tenderness, "You've upset everyone, Lauren. It's Christmas." I took a slow sip of my cocoa, gazing at my reflection in the diner window, a faint smile tugging at my lips. There it was, the predictable response. They weren't asking why I left. They weren't pondering if there might be a deeper reason. No, I was the one who'd upset their evening. For years, I'd poured myself into keeping the peace, babysitting their children, running errands, stepping in whenever they needed me. But the moment I chose myself, the moment I walked away from a moment that didn't feel right, I became the problem. I let out a quiet, thoughtful sigh, then paused my notifications, letting the silence return. Curiosity drew me to our family group chat. They were puzzled. "Ethan, she's overreacting." "Mom, it was just a table." "Riley, you always enjoyed the kids when we were younger." I could have let it slide, let them convince themselves it was merely a seating mishap. But instead I took a deep breath and typed, calmly, warmly, without a hint of drama, "This isn't about one evening. It's about years of feeling unseen. I'm the eldest, not just your helper. I deserve to be truly noticed." After a pause, I attached an old family photo, one of those big holiday snapshots where everyone's beaming, except me, tucked in the background, holding one of Ethan's twins so they could shine for the camera. I added a simple caption, "To my dear family, perhaps it's time to see me, not just the children's corner." Then I turned off my phone, feeling a serene peace settle over me. For once, they could sit with the quiet weight I'd carried for years. By the next morning, messages continued to arrive. "Mom, we miss you, come home." "Dad, let's work this out together." "Riley, can we talk? I love you." That last one made me pause, a warmth stirring in my chest. Riley had always been my soft spot. As kids, she'd stand up for me in her quiet way, slipping me an extra cookie when she noticed I got less, covering for me when I missed curfew, squeezing my hand under the table during Mom's critical glances. She wasn't perfect, but her heart was genuine. If anyone in that house might truly listen, it was likely her. Still, I wasn't ready to rush back, not yet. "I'll consider it, if everyone's willing to truly hear me," I texted gently, then set my phone aside, watching the soft snow fall outside. For once, I wasn't the one smoothing over ruffled feathers or fixing their worries. Let them savor the gentle chaos of that turkey's mischief. I had finally placed myself first, and it felt wonderfully, deeply good. Now I'm home, nestled on my couch, gazing out at the soft snowfall, enveloped in a peace I haven't known in years. Christmas isn't tarnished, far from it. It feels more deeply mine than ever before. No forced smiles, no lingering frustrations, just me, finally embracing the holiday on my own terms, wrapped in quiet joy. That turkey moment? A tender, whimsical surprise that brought laughter to everyone's faces, or a gentle sigh from Mom, I imagine. It wasn't a bold rebellion, just a small, heartfelt reminder that I too belong here, deserving to be seen, not merely when I'm needed. The sight of those napkins fluttering and the wine glass tipping lingers in my mind, a sweet echo of connection amidst the chaos. Will I return to them? Perhaps, but only if they begin to recognize me for who I truly am. Not just the big sister who quietly fills the gaps, but a woman with her own story. Until then, I'm content here, savoring my warm cocoa, knowing I've chosen my own path with grace. This moment feels like a quiet victory, a whisper of freedom in the snow. So tell me, Reddit friends, was I out of line? Or was this the gentle nudge my family needed? Have you ever faced a family moment that inspired something playful, yet profoundly memorable? Something like a turkey's playful tumble? Share below. I cherish hearing your stories, and perhaps we can find joy together in these shared, heartfelt moments.